Whoa, I did not see this one coming. I had no freaking idea this author in Shonen Jump was about to drop a bombshell like this and pretty much tell us, yo dog, your series, you know you like it. It's ending. It's entering its final arc, baby. Now, I know probably a lot of people are thinking like, yo, FORNEVER, for real? Like, how many times is this gonna happen now? What's going on? Hey, I'm not in charge of Shonen Jump. It just is what it is. Another author has indeed confirmed that his series is ending, and I ain't gonna lie, part of me is kind of like, huh? Like, legitimately, it almost seems as though Weekly Shonen Jump magazine, Shueisha, and everybody that is in charge of the editorial department and in charge of that entire conglomerate that they're doing over there has almost seemingly given up on some of the latest generations of manga, or there's a little bit more in the way they're moving, and we're gonna jump into all that and everything else in this episode of FORNEVERNEWS, the only news source that provides anything and everything anime manga related, and we don't bore you, we get into it. Let's do it. Yo, you're definitely going to want to subscribe and hit that bell because all of these manga that are getting canceled, you never know what's going to go down, and I want to give you guys the scoop and keep you in the loop, so definitely hit those bells. Because legitimately, people, I know you're probably watching this video, especially if you're a regular of FORNEVER News, like, yo, dog, again, another one that's entering its final arc or ending or being canceled, like being removed from the magazine, being switched to a different, like, it's been a lot, it's been heavy, and this has been really going on for the most part, a lot of it, over just the last few months alone, between the Ayakashi Triangle whole scandal of having to be removed to Jump Plus and Viz Media not wanting to publish things with it, and then we have My Hero Academia, Kohei Horikoshi at the end of last year basically saying, yo dog, we got one more year left. We got Black Clover entering a 3-month hiatus and then entering its final arc. Like, it's insane. And then we got another one. Yes, another one. But the problem with this one is that I didn't see it coming because the author has been up, down, left, right with it in terms of, yo dog, hey, my series is gonna end soon. Oh yeah, actually never mind that. Oh no, is like, yo, which is why I always tell people that, yeah, the authors could say a lot of things. A lot of people like to hang on to the words of Yuki Tabata, author of Black Clover, that he said, yo, it could be as long as One Piece. Sure, anything. Like, I could write a manga right now and theoretically it could last as long as One Piece. However, if your series ain't doing the numbers that the higher ups want, expect, and are hoping for, then it's just not happening. So when I heard this one, I was like, Hajime Komodo, nani sore desu ka? Daijoubu desu ka? De verdad, yo no sabe lo que están haciendo ahí en Shonen Jump, que diablo. Because yes, everything is winding down. My Hero's winding down, Black Clover's winding down, this generation is winding down, and the next generation of manga, or so I thought was going to be the next generation of manga, ain't looking like the heavy hitters that I thought they were going to be. But I think there's a little bit more of a nuanced situation here. What I mean by that is the author of Martial Magic and Muscles, aka Hajime Komodo, he has come out and yet again said that Martial is basically heading towards its end. In fact, he said we are going into the final arc, and that automatically is very, very complex and just kind of makes me think a lot. Because, for example, Hajime Komodo, one of the things was, I want to say it was probably over a year ago now, he came out and said that Martial is like halfway done, it's almost done, or something crazy. In fact, I want to say he said the series is halfway through its run. So basically, at that particular point, a lot of people were like, what do you mean it's halfway through its run? At that time, I believe it had like less than 100 chapters or just about 100 chapters, and everybody was going dumbfounded of like, how? And then following that, a few months later, we get word from Hajime Komodo that the series wouldn't be as short as initially thought. So a lot of us was like, oh, okay, so something clearly changed there. Maybe he was going to end Martial Magic and Muscles, thought of something, and the higher-ups was like, yo, everything is ending right now, and your series is next up. Where are you going? And I was like, okay, bet. And I was like, boom, that also probably means that Studio Pierrot or Toei Animation might get their hands, I don't want to say or might get their hands on it, because again, it would be a long-running thing. It would just make the most sense if it's in Pierrot's wheelhouse of ongoing anime. But here I have on my desk right now, well, not physically on my desk because everything's digital now, you know how it goes, but on my desk essentially is a letter from Hajime Komodo, the author of Martial Magic and Muscles, one of the next big ones out of Weekly Shonen Jump. Sells nearly 100,000 copies every first week with each volume. Hasn't even had an anime yet. Hasn't even got an announcement for an anime yet. And Hajime Komodo is talking about we're going into the final arc. And again, you might be thinking doom and gloom, but let me explain it after we read what he says. Hajime Komodo has confirmed in Martial's Volume 11 afterward that the series is entering its final arc. Wait. Final arc? final arc. And again, that just contradicts what he just said, that initially I thought it was going to be short, but like what? You said it was halfway over a year ago and then changed your mind, and then now, no, we're going into the final arc. So something there happened behind the scenes, whether it be a contract dispute, whether it be Shueisha's moving things around. Here's my theory and what I think is going on. Because in case you haven't realized, everything has changed within the anime and manga industry as things have gotten more mainstream. The way they're doing things is different. Historically, they've always made it that as follows. When you get to anywhere from about, depending on how successful you are, 70 something to 100 chapters, you get an anime adaptation announced, about $1.30 in, maybe a little less or more, give or take. Boom, your anime goes, and it lasts as long as your series is popular, and then they figure it out from there. However, with series like Demon Slayer becoming just something unheard of, it's actually started to look a little more lucrative to focus on the anime side of things, opposed to just like, yo, let's maximize profits of the manga. Because Demon Slayer, the manga, ended back in like what, 2020, early 2020. Here we are, 2022, and we're still, what, we're going into like season 3 of Demon Slayer, and we probably got a few more years left of back-to-back, like, hey, season 3, season 4, season 5, season 6, which is crazy because they just didn't do that. And not only with Shonen Jump, Weekly Shonen Magazine, like Hiro Mashima, creator of Fairy Tail, his original work, if I'm not mistaken, Raid Master, to this day, fans are like, yo, dog, you never finished it, man. You never finished the anime. And that was a common trend. There's a lot of classic anime, amazing anime that just stood with like open endings because it's like, yo, dog, the manga's still going. We wrapped it up. Like, So it looks as though Shonen Jump and Shueisha are deciding, you know what, opposed to going that route, how about we go a different direction? We focus on getting all the money we can on the anime side of things and put it out and really focus on, hey, if you love the anime, we're going to give you the best anime possible, and manga fans, y'all going to rock with it regardless because y'all love manga. That's what I think anyway. It could be totally different. It could be, I don't freaking know, a scandal with Hajime Komodo behind the scenes, or just in general, Hajime Komodo's like, I don't think I want to draw anymore, because he has shown in his author comments that we keep track of here on Forever News. Subscribe, hit that bell if you haven't. He spoke a couple different times to his dismay with drawing manga, and kind of like, it's probably a little bit more challenging for most people than they initially expect, because the life of a mangaka sounds like hell. I know you're probably thinking like, yo, Fonev, how is that hell drawing all day? I've seen it. I've watched documentaries. I've heard all of these authors for years and years and years and years complain about how they're killing themselves for our entertainment. Trust me, it is worse than probably even like a hardcore construction job, because hardcore construction job, you work in your 8 to 10 hours, you go home. Mangaka over there in Japan for Shonen Jump, sure, there's a big reward. If your series blows up, you could become a millionaire, all sorts of stuff, but imagine 21 hours hunched over on a desk thinking of ideas to the point where you're passing out on your desk. And maybe I'm wrong and I shouldn't even go that far to say like, hey, drawing is more hard work than that. That's not necessarily the whole point of what I'm saying. I'm just saying you don't understand if you really haven't heard about what it's like to be a mangaka in Japan, let alone for Shonen Jump, that it sounds like hell. So I always encourage too, if like you're getting into the writing manga, writing all, whatever writing arts in general, know that it's a tough road ahead of you, especially if you want to be a mangaka someday, because as it stands right now, there's not really any avenues for anyone outside of like being Japanese in Japan. Although I guess there's a possibility that some of these other authors are actually not Japanese and going by pen names to avoid people asking questions. And speaking of series that are coming to an end, what if I told you that My Hero Academia's author just kind of admitted that pretty much the fans ruined something massive with the series due to their impatience, and and something that was supposed to happen way earlier in the story, he had to push back exactly 25 volumes. Yeah, you remember how it came out recently that My Hero Academia's author Horikoshi came out and said like, yo dog, I had to rush some stuff, the villains was coming in and making people feel a certain way, the fandom was dropping, things wasn't looking good, which pretty much seems to be the case with My Hero Academia. And I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I don't care how this feels right now. I am going to say it. That is one of the stupidest things that I've ever heard, that the antagonists of the series makes people not care, especially when in My Hero Academia the antagonists were pretty damn freaking awesome and they had their own type of motifs and they've just been really cool. Honestly, that is one of the most dumbest things for a fandom to be upset and not wanting to, or losing interest for that matter, when in fact when it comes to My Hero Academia, myself included, a lot of people would say that My Hero Academia oftentimes feels like it gets carried from the epicness and the awesomeness of people like Shigaraki. Like when the villains, the League of Villains go through and do something crazy, I go nuts. When we got Shigaraki's backstory, My Villain Academia, all of that, that was insane. When Shigaraki was with his feet on top of Endeavor's neck, That's what I was like, yo, this is epic stuff. So when you go to this and you tell me that, yo, dog, pretty much Japan was like flocking away from My Hero Academia because the villains was getting more involved, I just always look with a side eye like, that's some stupid shit. Just flat out, that's dumb as hell. But recently in some comments in a My Hero Academia volume, Kohei Horikoshi came out and said, yeah, they really did it to me, and they really ruined everything with the big Aoyama reveal. The Aoyama reveal apparently was supposed to happen in volumes 9 through 10 of My Hero Academia, according to volume 34's extras. Maybe this goes with a previous statement where Horikoshi said he had to cut out a lot of content in the training camp raid due to the pressure of low popularity in that arc. Remember Hori saying the popularity declined when we got the villains introduced during the training camp arc, so he rushed it. This person's translating volume 34 extras, and Horikoshi's basically saying he altered his story for the Japanese readers. And again, that's just wild. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, there's a possibility that My Hero Academia could be even bigger, could be even more popular if they would have got off of that high horse of, no, we don't log villains in a story about good guys and super villains. I'm sorry, I'm not. No. It's super villains. They're interesting villains. What's the beef? Why would popularity drop? That's that thing with the Japanese culture, I'm not gonna lie. But considering the fact that manga and anime, guess what? It's mainstream now. Guess what? It's not just an exclusive thing that it's mainly in Japan. Worldwide, there's a lot of series that they make more money outside of Japan than in Japan. So you're not gonna tell me that, oh, no, My Hero Academia is the #1 selling manga in the US for 2 years in a row. 2020 and 2021, My Hero Academia trumped over everything. So you cannot tell me that there's no reason, no incentive, no mindset of like, yo, dog, France, America, Mexico, all of these places really love manga and anime, really support and buy manga and anime. And I feel like another era that the Japanese are making is allowing the sole dictating thing to be those darn TOC contents of, you know, the rankings and the popularity. Like, okay, sales definitely couldn't have dropped as soon as he did that unless he dropped the volume right around the time the training camp arc went, and that could have very well been attributed to other things of why that volume may have tanked. Let's just say there was a volume that dropped around the time the training camp arc was going on in the Weekly Shonen Jump magazine, and the volume sold really bad. It could have been a variety of different things, including like maybe nobody cared about what was happening in that volume. Some people are gonna, of course, say, well, what about if it was a volume that also had more stuff that was focusing in on the villains? And I would say, why, Japan? And I think here's where things are going to have to take a turn, and they're going to do this eventually. It's just a matter of getting to there. They've already started to do it, where they started making those big reader surveys for the popularity polls, for the character popularity polls. They started putting those for global releases. So if there's a Dragon Ball one, everybody around the world can participate. And I think they also need to do that when it comes to these things, because let's just say the villains are hated in Japan, but everywhere else they absolutely love the villains. Are you going to just say screw everywhere else simply because of the home country? Or are you going to look at it from what it is? And at the end of the day, it is a business. And hey, it's also a really good thing that business-wise it may have made sense, but also it goes along with the story to allow the author to cook the way he needs to cook. Like, flat out, I guarantee you, and I'm not even just saying this from other people's perspective, from my own perspective, that big reveal that was pushed for 25 volumes, that's why it fell flat. That's why there was a lot of people that were disappointed with certain aspects of it. That's why people didn't go as crazy for it as they should have, because it was hinted so long ago, and a lot of people almost thought that Horikoshi forgot. He didn't forget. He was about to drop the bomb and nuke people right then and there. He had to push it back because we don't like villains in superhero, supervillain manga. I'm just saying, dog. Like, wow. I mean, the villains are so freaking cool that even on My Hero Academia related news, there's also something that Toga is gracing the cover of. I believe it's what, Jump Giga, if I'm not mistaken. Like, look at this cover. It looks so freaking amazing and incredible. Like, you got Toga on the cover of a magazine, which means clearly that there's an audience for Japanese. But here's the thing now that I think about it, because like, if the villains are so unpopular or people have a problem with the villains, then why are you marketing this other magazine with one of the villains from My Hero Academia on the cover? It's something very bizarre. But skipping a plot point for 25 volumes, like, imagine, I don't even know, like imagine they skipped, I don't know, 25 volumes or something with the big Toby reveal in Naruto, or that's just what? And I mean, regardless, shout outs to My Hero Academia, but all of that does sound a little bit cray-cray, and unfortunately, Kohei Horikoshi, this is probably why he's already like ready to go. It's probably like, yo, we've been been through a lot in these days, and I'm ready to get out of this magazine. Like, I'm interested to see as well if we're gonna see more of these Shonen Jump authors heading to different magazines. I would love to see one of the big dogs go to Weekly Shonen magazine, but I'd imagine those contracts are wrapped so tight if they even look in that direction, just like what happened recently to Boichi, potentially, because Boichi just randomly got canceled, and because Boichi just randomly had to stop his new series in Weekly Shonen magazine after jumping over from Jump. Like, I don't know if they'd let it happen, but it would be really cool and very awesome for competition. And in other weird news, like, this is really bizarre in my opinion, but maybe it's not so weird. I don't know. It's from my perspective. Like, y'all know that there's an author and an artist for the Boruto manga. There's Ikemoto and, well, whoever the hell is doing the story at this particular point. Originally, it was Ukyo Kodachi. They removed him, made a big unofficial announcement that Kishimoto was going to return, the original creator of Naruto, but yet he has never to this day been credited as doing the story. He's only been like the supervisor or the original creator. But I say all that to say that Ikemoto, the guy that does the art of Boruto, he's a very odd guy, and in case you don't know, like, the main villain of Boruto right now, or one of the main villains, although I'm not really a big fan of his, Code, he does something with claw marks, and he's constantly clawing everywhere, and apparently that was inspired by the artist's cat. But I'm not even gonna lie, this dude, Ikemoto, sometimes he makes me look at him a little bit like, yo, you good? Because dude has a massive, I don't want to say obsession, whatever you want to call it, for his cat. Like, this dude really, really loves his cat, and when he drops these cat comments, you're gonna be like, this is the guy that is doing the art for Boruto? Okay. Ikemoto's message to the readers from the back of Boruto manga volume 17. Volume 18 is slated for release later this year on September 2nd, and there's a little picture of a cat next to a sink to just show a little bit more about Ikemoto's love for his cat. And it says here, Ikemoto's author comment from the back page of Boruto manga volume number 17. Even though I made some arrangements to have a drinking fountain for my cat, it's become a trend for my cat to drink directly from the kitchen faucet at home. That's why he drew that, I guess. The basic drinking style is for my cat to just gulp down the water. Why are you watching the drinking styles of your cat? But okay, either that, or it seems like my cat's favorite way to drink water is to just shove their paw into the stream of running water and then lick at the droplets a little bit at a time. It takes a while. My cat can spend more than 10 minutes drinking like that. Since it's the human's job to twist the tap, I basically have to pay attention and watch over the faucet until the cat is satisfied and leaves. This is a bit of an inconvenience when I have a deadline coming up. Yo, dog, stop worrying about your cat and draw Boruto. I'm just playing, like, yo, enjoy yourself. I'm totally joking. Relax before people say, why is ForneverWorld screaming at Ikemoto? No. Coincidentally, this volume has the usual unveiling and introduction of a few fan-submitted original characters, and they were all associated with cats. Since the main storyline is quite brutal, try to take a mental break by looking at the cats. I'll be honest with you, this Ikemoto guy is something else, dog. Like, there's already a lot of criticism. A lot of fans aren't the biggest fans of him in particular when it comes to the Boruto story because of his art. Some people say that his paneling isn't the greatest. There are some examples, especially early on. He's improved a lot, but early on of the Boruto manga's art being a little bit dicey, and at times you look like, yo, dog, what happened to Naruto? What is he looking like these days? Like, what's going on? And I'm going to attribute all of that to this dude's cat. Nah. I'm sorry, I just had to report on this because every time I see these authors doing something a little bit odd, I'm like, these are the guys that are drawing these stories or writing these stories that we really love, and some of us, maybe not me particular, but some people, you know, they worship some of these characters, some of these things, and it's like, yo, he's looking at his cat drink water and obsessing over it while you're like, you know? I don't know, this was a silly little segment that I thought I'd throw in there so you guys can understand a little more about the dude that's drawing Boruto. Watch there be some haters that come in, this is exactly why Boruto sucks. He gotta stop thinking about his cat and just draw. Yeah, totally shouldn't be human and enjoy the company of whatever it is that he likes, including a cat, a pet. He should just, you know, constantly, non-stop, just be with a pencil in his hand. And while I got you here, let's jump into the top 50 best-selling manga volumes of the week. See what's popping on this side of things. For starters, we got 50 through 41, and it starts off with a manga that I'm like, Nani sore? Oitsu Maho Gakuen no Saikase. 12,904, basically rounding off number 50. Then moving up, My Dress Up Darling. A lot of people are really liking that, and this is mad random, but I just want to blurt it out. I met a real world, like in the real, nothing to do with the internet, Chainsaw Man fan, and it was the coolest experience. If you're watching this, if you just happen to know that I was for ForneverWorld or some shit, and you was talking to me about Denji and Makima, and shh, Makima's listening, shout outs to you, girl. But then moving forward at number 44, Eden Zero's latest volume 20. In 10 days, 26,000 copies. I keep it a buck with you. That is not great at all. That is just yet again another example of, I'm gonna keep it real. I personally think that type of shonen, like the fairy tales, all of that bracket anyway, basically everything that goes, that boy that's working through a dream, the classic shonen formula, this is showing that it's starting to fade out. It's starting to phase out into something different. Like, people don't just want the boy with a dream type of thing anymore. They want a little bit more substance. So you're gonna have like the boy with a problem, and maybe he also has a dream on the side or something like that, and just, very unconventional. And that's probably why a series like Eden Zero, which again I'm not caught up, so I can't exactly say, but that probably is why Eden Zero, especially in the beginning that I did see, doesn't pop off immediately, because it still felt like a shonen from the last era essentially. Like, I'm really starting to see that things are changing and people just don't necessarily gravitate towards that type of shonen like they used to. Like, people are always going to love, of course, Naruto's, One Piece's, and Bleach, but people like things a little bit different nowadays. The algorithms have changed, so to speak. Even One Piece is being affected by that old era of shonen kind of being phased out. Like, in terms of just sales though, like in terms of popularity, One Piece, again, I gotta just keep on stressing, it dominates, especially the internet. You drop a big chapter of One Piece, everything is quiet. And I don't know how I got to One Piece when we're talking about Eden Zero, but shout out to Hiro Mashima regardless, because he's gonna do 26,000 copies on that volume 20 of Eden Zero, and then he's gonna drop a volume of Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest and probably do another 20 something, 30,000 first week or whatever, and then he's gonna do a video game, and that's how he's going to get all of that money that your favorite mangaka that's selling like 500,000 first week or whatever, Hiro's gonna get it by doing a bunch of other things that he's probably gonna have a blast doing. Then we got Dragon Ball Super Volume 18, 13.9, 184. I'll still say that's one of the most badass covers, and it's kind of showing like it's still in the top 50 21 days later with almost 200,000 sales. That's really good. Then Tokyo Revengers Volume 26 with 14,840, 959. It's closing in on that mill. I really do want to see it actually hit that mill before it bounces. That's kind of like almost a prerequisite, I feel, for like the super top dogs, like the Jujutsu Kaisens, the One Pieces, the Tokyo Revengers. Like, I just have expectations at this point, considering I've seen them do things that is just like, how are y'all selling that much? That's crazy. Then jumping to 40 through 31, we got a couple more of those Detective Conan spin-offs, Volume 1 and 2, doing 15,000 a piece, bringing both of their totals to over 400,000. Again, those are books that was released quite a while ago, I believe 2 years ago now, but because they got an anime adaptation, it's making waves for them. We got Darwin G. Hen, Volume 4, 17,000. What else? Kanajo Mo Kanajo. I'm not gonna lie, that cover art is a little bit like, yo, what's going on there, lads? Then we got volumes 30 through 21. Going at number 26, we got Tokyo Revengers Character Book 2. Yo, selling 76,000 copies of a character book. Like, they know. Spy Family at number 22 with a volume 1 through 3 box set doing 30,000. Like, remember, right? So in total, and this was released just fairly recently, probably they were like, yo, dog, we know the anime is blowing it up. Let's make sure we cash in on this bad boy. 128,000 copies of a 3-book set. So you think about it, you got to times that by 3 because it sold 3 books with it. So essentially that's over 400,000 worth of sales if you really think about it. Like, that's kind of crazy. And also they could jack up the prices because it probably comes with a wraparound or extra box set or something. Like, smart. Again, I keep telling you guys, like Shonen Jump, Shueisha, all these publishers, they're changing. The world is changing, and they're following suit. Atelier of Witch Hat, Volume 10. I've heard so many great things. I believe it's getting an anime as well. I've heard so many great things from a friend of mine over on Twitter that this shit is just really awesome. And it did 30,000 in 4 days. I really want to see that anime, but the manga's art looks so freaking amazing. Like, that looks really good. Keep your ears peeled for that one. Again, Atelier of Witch Hat, and I'm probably butchering the name there. Then number 20 through 11, we got a bunch of Spy Family all through here. At number 19, 17, 16, 12, 11. Y'all see what it is. The anime right now is going crazy. Everybody's going wild for it. And yeah, it's dominating. And jumping straight into the top 10 is more Spy. Oh my God, there's 5 Spy Family volumes in the top 20 through 11. And then there's 4 more in the top 10 because number 10, 9, and 8 are all Spy Family 8, 4, and 5, selling about 40 something to 50 something thousand 60,000 a piece. Komi Can't Communicate, a full 7 days, 60,000. So I'm always fascinated by that, right? Because it's been out for a little bit, but it actually just got its anime not that long ago, a Netflix exclusive, and with a 7-day total after a Netflix season 1 push, this is what a slice of life like Komi Can't Communicate can do at volume 25, 60,000 copies. It's just an interesting thing to look at, like, okay, so that's what a series like that can do with a Netflix push if it doesn't go massively viral, because Komi Can't Communicate, it was big, but it really wasn't like blowing up everywhere. Then at number 6, One Piece volume 102, 60,000, bringing its total of 1.491, almost 1.5 for One Piece, massive success to it. Number 5, Detective Conan volume 101, 77,000. Like, see, that's the big thing, right? Because they're only a volume apart, Conan and One Piece, and look at that. Like, don't get me wrong, of course they're different publishers, but One Piece at 102 is still doing 1.4. Conan at 101, 331,000. Massive difference. They've been running almost exactly the same amount of time. So that just shows, again, One Piece's greatness. But shout outs to Detective Conan. By no means am I trying to slander it. I love Conan. Like, that is my favorite mystery anime ever. Period. Coming in at number 4, Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 19, 106,000. Again, 1.4. Jeez Louise. That's big stepper. Spy Family Volume 9, the latest release in 21 days, 901,000, closing in already on 1 million, and it's been 21 days and it's still in the top 3. Just think about that for a second. It's been almost a month, 3 weeks, and it's still top 10, top 5, top 3. Wild. Number 2, Golden Kamuy Volume 29. Y'all know that's about to end soon. 158,000. And number 1, again, Tokyo Revengers for like, what? This is the second or third week in a row or something that, yeah, 197,000, 627,000, over half a mil, over 600,000. Tokyo Revengers, even with a cover that I don't really care for. Good job! And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the weekly Shonen Magazine author comments, courtesy of Jose_Ke. And let's start off with Ken Wakui at the top of the TOC this week, author of Tokyo Revengers. I bought a new chair on impulse, and the caramel-colored leather look is so darling, and I need a new chair. This chair is starting to be a mess up. You know when you got kids and they mess with your stuff? Yeah, this chair is falling apart on me. I need a new chair, and I'll be in this chair probably not as long as you be in your chair, because you manga cousins, I salute. Y'all gods, but yeah, I can't be in the chair that long. We got Yusuke Nomura, author of Blue Lock. I've been having so much fun capturing the boss that I haven't made any progress in the story. Because of this, my kid already finished the game. What game is he talking about? George Morikawa, author of Hajime no Ippo, said, I was moved by Ryota Murata's bravery. Hiromashima, author of Eden Zero, said the Creators Laboratory project has introduced Rebecca and the Machine Mansion, and I believe he's referring to that little fan video game, if I'm not mistaken. He probably added an extra DLC or a level to the game. Goat stuff. Who's talking about that? Where some of these mangas are legendary, right? Even bigger than Hiromashi, and Hiromashima's legendary too, don't get it twisted. But some of these other legends, like a Kishimoto, a Taite Kubo, all of them, Rumiko Takahashi, none of them have, and don't look like they're doing in the future what Hiromashima is doing. Like, he knows the video game business is big money, and he's doing his thing independent, and just salute, bro. Hiromashima, amazing. Author of Gachiakuta, Kei Urana. One of the staff suddenly broke out into a one-person show that I was only half listening to. Some people say, yo, Tim, Fornev, you don't listen very well when I'm talking. I'll be like, I'm working on it, okay? I'm working on it. Negi Haraba, author of Sentai Daishikaku, aka Ranger Reject. I'm currently explaining Dragon Ball to my wife. Seems she's stuck on naming someone Nappa. That's interesting, and I always love when I explain anime, especially intricate ones. Like Dragon Ball, kind of, hey, it's some dudes that they're collecting these 7 balls that grant wishes. Like, that's straightforward. But imagine, like, explaining something like Shimoneta to somebody. They would be like, a world of pan. What? Nakaba Suzuki, author of Four Nights of the Apocalypse. I have Jackie Chan movies running next to me whenever I'm tired. That sounds fire. Oh my god, I've never thought of doing that. That sounds fire. Yoshitoki Oima, To Your Eternity. I've had a lot of fun washing laundry lately. I hate doing laundry, and I'm actually pretty decent at it. Like, yo, you throw that shit in there, put the color, put this on, you get it done. I just don't like doing it. Okay, people, we gotta talk about these real quick. We talked about the top 50 best-selling manga. What about the manga from Jump that didn't make the top 50? What about some of the failures? What about some some of the upcomers. What's going on here? Because Oricon's here for the third week of April volumes with only Jujutsu Kaisen and One Piece that are left ranking. Everything else stopped ranking because it's not performing well enough. And Black Clover didn't rank. Elusive Samurai didn't. Black Clover not ranking on its third week. Not good. That's not good. I'm gonna just be honest. Not good. Especially after a big I would have thought Black Clover probably would have picked up a bit of steam with that big reveal. Everybody was talking about the big reveal of the last chapter before the 3-month break that we have. Didn't do enough to really boost things up. Elusive Samurai after that first week has not ranked. Witch Watch after that first week has not ranked. P did not rank at all, and it's an upstart, and I think the editorial staff like it, and I've heard it's good, so it probably could be safe. I don't know, but it's doing very bad. Dororong, that's out of here, and Sugamaro's out of here again. Like, yo, yeah, I didn't rank. And let's see what some of these sales for the ones that didn't rank. Let's see. According to Shoseki estimations, Black Clover did 13,000 on its third week, 140. That might be consistent with what it's done, but that's still never great, man. That's still never great. That's good enough for Black Clover to keep going, but it is what it is. The Elusive Samurai sold 5,000 this week, bringing its total to 67. That's still okay for upcoming. Witch Watch sold 3,600, bringing its total to almost 40. And P, Doran, and Protect Me Sugamaru, they're out of here, man. They're out of here. They're out of here. I will be deathly shocked if Doran and Protect Me Sugamaru survive. Like, the only one out of all of them, and I'm not even, Ayashimo's not even on this list. Ayashimo, I feel like it's going to be safe. I feel like P could be safe. I don't know. That's a toss-up. But P could be safe because people like it. But then again, I don't really say much because, a lot of people like a lot of series that they say, yeah, we're getting them out of here. Put them on the swivel. And speaking of things getting out of here, oh my God, people, a big announcement of a series that ended, but there's more coming back, and that is, you may have heard about Sushi Okubo. You don't know about Sushi Okubo? You ever heard of a series called Soul Eater? There was an author called Sushi Okubo that wrote Soul Eater. Well, this story is not Soul Eater, and I hope I didn't get anyone's hopes up. I just wanted to kind of drum it up for the suspense factor. Fire Force is returning for a third season. I don't know if it's the final season, but it's the third season. It just says here, Fire Force Enen no Shobotai TV anime season 3 in production. Yo, it would be so fire if they called this season the Fire Brigade of Flames. That would be perfect because that was the original translation that fans gave it, and then the official came out and it was like, oh, it's not the Brigade of Flame, oh, it's Fire Force. All right. And that was according to a reliable Weibo user. And also, this is the 34th and final cover of Fire Force, and this is easily one of the best looking ones. I love this cover. That straight up looks like a character in Black Clover. I'm not going to say who or what, but that just looks absolutely fire. I love it. Shout outs to Atsushi Okubo. That looks so sick. I need to get back into Fire Force. Off that design alone, I'm like, yo, that shit looks creepy crazy. And if I'm not mistaken, isn't that like the main character? Like, what? I've been sleeping on Fire Force, just keeping it a buck. But yo, real dope stuff. Season 3 coming. Final volume cover, like, it's gonna be pretty good. I might get back into it, finish up. I got like 3 episodes of season 1 and then season 2, and then boom, here we go. I really am starting to not be a big fan of the announcement leading into eventually some point getting what we want. Like, I'm just not a fan of that, and that has definitely hit anime and manga's realm because we got an announcement for what's coming when it comes to, apparently, we're getting a big interview. We're getting a big interview that I love these things. I love when mangaka talk. I love seeing like the author of this series talking to the author of this series. It's something I don't know why. I just be like, oh shit, it's the best of both worlds. Let's go. Like, I used to go crazy for any type of interactions between Kishimoto, Kubo, and Oda. Like, that was just like, yo, dog, the big 3, here we go. How legendary would it be? And this is a side note. How legendary would it be if one day ForneverWorld interviewing Kubo, Oda, and Kishimoto, and we do something crazy, like, I don't know, take the funds of this and like donate it to like a big, cause or something like that. That would be fire. Or taking whatever funds we can get for something like that and doing something really cool and giving back to the community. Just some ideas. It'll happen one day. Just wait for it. Stick around for your boy. But I say all that to say that apparently we're getting a big interview between Gege Akutami from Jujutsu Kaisen and Kohei Horikoshi from My Hero Academia. A bit of a strange one, to say the least, because they're both very, very different series, and I would argue that if I was Kohei Horikoshi, I'm gonna just keep it a buck, and I'm not trying to be messy here, but if I was Kohei Horikoshi, I might feel a way about Gege Akutami in terms of, and maybe not me per se, but a different person if they were Kohei Horikoshi. They would probably say, like, yo, dog, you kind of stole my spotlight. Like, I was supposed to be the next Naruto. I was the big dog. Everybody was championing me. You and Demon Slayer came along and destroyed everything I was building. Like, get away from me. Like, that's the pettiness. Thankfully, these authors, they usually always be friends, and it's the fans that are just being weasels, like, fighting over nonsense. And it's like, yo, dog, Kishimoto and Oda are laughing together. What are you doing? Kohei Horikoshi x Akutami Gege interview in Jump Giga 2022 Spring Edition. And you see on the inside, they got like a thing that says Giga Villain. And you got Geto and Shigaraki next to each other. And then on the other page, you got Toga and Dabi. And then on the next page, I'm looking at, I see Choso. Yo, I want this Giga. I want this Jump Giga. If I'm not mistaken, isn't that the one that's gonna have Toga on the cover as well? Holy cow. Oh my god, I need, just for that interview alone. Like, obviously it's gonna get translated, and have no fear. The moment it surfaces anywhere on the internet, I will cover it. I will give you guys all of the ins and outs, the highlights, everything you want to know about that interview. Don't worry. And you might want to subscribe and hit that bell so that way when it does come, you know about it. And seemingly within the confines of that spring issue of Jump Giga, it says here, Jujutsu Kaisen culling game visual in Jump Giga 2022 spring. And it's just a really dope collage of like all of the characters that are participating in the culling game as it stands right now. And man, it's kind of wild, and it's interesting as well. I always think of it on a marketing standpoint, like, okay, what are they trying to do here other than give the fans something cool with putting Kohei Horikoshi next to Jujutsu Kaisen's author? Like, are they trying to get any fans of My Hero, since My Hero seemingly is ending by the end or the beginning of next year? Like, are they trying to like, yo, if you like My Hero, you might like Jujutsu Kaisen, Kohei's leaving, but Gege's here for you? Or are they trying to do vice versa? Maybe they're about to do a big rebrand for My Hero, big time skip, and they were like, yo, if we could get that Jujutsu Kaisen audience to come mess with My Hero, we'll have another juggernaut. So it's going to be interesting to see how all of this unfolds. But yes, people, we are getting a Gege Akutami x Kohei Horikoshi interview. And now that I think about it, didn't they a while ago, man, we talk about so much stuff over here. I think they even went and watched the movie together, if I'm not mistaken, right? A while back. Kohei Horikoshi x Gege Akutami confirmed. And that also would add to the rumors that Gege Akutami is actually a woman, because a lot of people have speculated that as well. Like, I remember when that one interview that they were supposedly doing live, and there was like the mannequin there, and a lot of people were like, look at the chest, that's a woman! And it turned out to be like a Mechamaru doll or something like you thought. Speaking of a goat, let's talk about what's happening with Hiromu Arakawa, the author of Fullmetal Alchemist. Now, y'all know that Fullmetal Alchemist and just this author in general, there's a lot of things going on lately. Like this author, between them starting their new series, Yomi no Tsugai, first chapter. I can't get enough of telling you guys, it is fire. It's from the author of Fullmetal Alchemist. I'm telling you, check that first chapter. I got a video on it if you don't believe me, right here. Put it right here, Chris. Right here. But as some of you may know that watch ForneverNews on a regular, you know that Fullmetal Alchemist has another two live-action movies coming after the disaster. That was the first one that a lot of people hated. There's two more coming, and apparently they got Hiromu Arakawa to do a little bit of artwork for the movie, and here it is. Because it says here, Fullmetal Alchemist creator Hiromu Arakawa recreates live-action sequels poster as a drawing. The official website for Hagane no Renkinjutsushi Kanketsu Hen Fukushusha Scar, Fullmetal Alchemist Final Chapter, The Avenger Scar, and Hagane no blah blah blah, Fullmetal Alchemist Final Chapter, The Last Transmutation. The two upcoming live-action sequel films in the Fullmetal Alchemist franchise unveiled the first 3 bonus handouts for theater goers on Friday. The handout will feature an illustration by original Fullmetal Alchemist author Hiromu Arakawa that recreates the film's teaser poster in the style of the manga. And I'm looking at it right here, and I ain't gonna lie, it doesn't quite work, because just keeping it real, in the poster, it's just like, you know, it looks like a poster, like, oh, snap, the same big. But here, it almost looks like Scar is a Titan, like one of the, you know, not quite that smart Titans in Attack on Titan, and it looks like Attack on Titan here. Like, it looks bizarre. The bonus will only be available in participating theaters from May 20th to the 22nd, the first 3 opening days of the first film. The illustration above is only the first of a planned free handouts for different periods of the film screening, each featuring illustrations by Arakawa. The site teases the details of the other illustrations, which may include recreations of scenes in the film or entirely original illustrations. Pretty much whatever Hiromu Arakawa emails them back. And a very, very quick thing that I wanted to insert into this episode to let you guys know, and I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to make a big video. Relax. Give me some time. Bubble is out. Bubble is out on Netflix. This is big news, because in case you don't know about Bubble, music done by the composer that did Naruto Shippuden Fairy Tail, story by the dude that did Fate Zero, Madoka Magica, character designs by the artist of Death Note. The list goes on and on. I'm telling you, those are 3 highlights alone, but that's one of the things that attracted me immediately. I was like, oh my god, and then the animation and art, and I started watching it, fell asleep, because I'm like, what am I doing? I'm not young anymore, dog. I'm not, you know what I'm saying, I'm not a teenager. I'm not in my early 20s to be able to watch anime all night. It's like 4 in the morning. I watch 20 minutes and I'm like, Oh shit, what happened to Bubble? But yes, people, Bubble is out on Netflix. Let me know what you guys think. Have you seen it? Should I watch it? Is it worth it? Again, I watched about like 10 to 20 minutes and I passed out and I'm like, I'm gonna finish that tonight because it was pretty freaking good. I didn't fall asleep because of that. It's 4 in the morning, dog. And it's not 4 in the morning now. Like, it was 4 in the morning then. And speaking of creators coming out the woodwork, we got some really cool thing here that some fans are a little bit dicey about it, because in case you don't know, they're doing this big tribute to Dragon Ball where they're having all of these incredibly huge authors coming out and drawing different volumes of the manga, and they got Mitsutoshi Shimabukuro, the author of Toriko, to do one of these covers, these tributes. It says Dragon Ball Volume 19 by Mitsutoshi Shimabukuro, Toriko, and Build King. This is part of the Dragon Ball Super Gallery project to commemorate the 40th anniversary of the series. Every month, different mangaka will redesign one of the 42 covers of the series until November 2024. So we still got 2 more years left of this, and a little less than that. And looking at the covers that the cover that he was supposedly doing, I was like, yo, dog, he did a good job on the art, but that's nothing like Goku in a helicopter. Like, how is Goku and Vegeta on a rock, which is an original piece, anything like this one? Like, don't get me wrong, it looks great. In fact, some might argue probably that looks better than the one of Goku in a helicopter, but I'm still like, I want a Goku in a helicopter. Now I'm front, I actually like this better, but if the whole idea was redrawing volume covers like in different styles of like the authors, like, I don't know. Although I guess it's kind of cool that they gave him a little more free reins to be creative with this project, so there's that. Okay, people, and I absolutely had to share this one. A lot of people were very devastated and heartbroken about this whole situation. In case you don't know, the voice actor of Josuke from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, as well as the Rising of the Shield Hero from the English dub, recently was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer of the colon, and it's a sad thing to even talk about. Like, honestly, it's really, really messed up and really sad. I met dude years ago, seemed like a very awesome dude, and it's really dope that people are coming together for this, because apparently a GoFundMe campaign was launched for the actor Billy Kametz following his cancer diagnosis. It says Billy Kametz revealed on Friday that a GoFundMe campaign has launched on his behalf following a diagnosis of stage 4 colon cancer. The campaign has raised $84,000 of its original $100,000 goal thus far. The money raised will go towards travel, insurance costs, medical bills not covered by insurance, and everyday life necessities. Kametz had revealed the diagnosis on YouTube on Tuesday. Kametz said about 10 weeks ago he felt pain in his left shoulder blade. After having difficulties going to the bathroom and keeping food down, he went to the doctor and got a CAT scan. Kametz has started chemotherapy and radiation therapy. He's been out of the hospital for about 2 weeks. Kametz will be taking a break from voiceover work, and other voice actors are replacing him for any current and ongoing roles. He will move back to Pennsylvania to be with his family. He stated he'll open up a P.O. box for those who want to send him anything after he moves. And I'm not even gonna lie, like, because he also does Rui and Demon Slayer, whatever, you know, he's done a lot. I'm not saying whatever, but it's just really sad. Like, they're recasting him or whatever, you know, he's allowing them to recast. He even in his initial press release said, like, please support them, you know, he's moving back home and everything. It's sad. I send my prayers and condolences to Billy Kametz, your whole entire family. If you're watching this, dude, the anime community, we're here with you. We support you. I'm gonna link for anybody watching, and anybody that want to support and donate. I am going to link the GoFundMe in the description of this video. If you financially are able to, please support Billy Kametz's GoFundMe. This is serious. This is something that is really, really serious. And again, dude, if you're watching this, much love. My heart goes out to you, your family. I'm rooting for you. Yeah. Okay, people, so next up, I just wanted to show you real quickly the latest cover from the author of Tokyo Ghoul's new work, Chojin X. And it's so weird or bizarre or different, the covers that he is doing for this manga. If you've seen the first 2, they were already bizarre. But the third one, which I want to say from what people are telling me, is related to what's happening at this current moment in the manga, I believe, or something like that. Or was that actually the baseball? I don't know. But either way, it's like a dude, and it looks like he has a choker around his neck. His face is wrapped in plastic, and he possibly is even shirtless. I'm sorry, Suishida, what are you doing? Like, yo. A part of me almost feels like this was something that he was looking at as he was drawing it and making it happen. Like, this is really weird for a volume 3. And I'll be honest with you, this is probably also another one of the many reasons why Shueisha and all parties involved aren't really pushing, because I don't see a big push to make Chojin X big or anything like that. Not now, anyway. Like, I just don't see it. And I think a part of it is probably he's going too abstract and too maybe mature for their taste. Like, Tokyo Ghoul was one of the things that, while it was a dark and really messed up and deep story, there were elements to it that anybody could gravitate towards in terms of like, yo, this is wild. Oh my god, the action is crazy. Chojin X right now still hasn't hooked people on in that aspect, and I'm hoping that changes around. Like, I like it, but I like Ghoul a billion times better. And I like Ghoul a billion times better even chapter per chapter, the first chapter, second chapter, third chapter, I like Ghoul just more. I'm hoping that changes around because Suishida is an incredible author. That volume cover is interesting and something that I'm like, I don't know if he's trying to do things different or this dude is into some wild stuff because, like, yo, a dude with a choker and a back, like, what? Almost sounds like some 50 Shades of Grey type of stuff. Like, a dude's just gonna come in and just start with, like, motherfuckers just gonna come in with, like, belts and shit. Like, yo, anybody in here? Like, yo, I'm good, right? So, I'm sure there's a bunch of new Spy Family fans out there. Well, there's a couple of pieces of news. One of which you're gonna be like, aight. Cool. The other one you're going to be rocked by. You're going to be like, FORNEV, really? Because for starters, it says here, Spy Family musical has been officially announced for March 2023. Spy Family's musical will be holding auditions to cast Anya and will be starting on March next year at Japan's Imperial Theater. It will continue during April and May around the country. Bring it over here. This is something Spy Family, all sorts of anime and manga families will go. Like me and my family, we will go. My daughter, my nieces, my nephews, we will all go to a Spy Family musical. We would. Like, it's not only Japanese people that love that and would support that. I would gladly spend my money for that. That would be the most... Please do. But also, in Spy Family news, something that I thought was way more cool than that. Apparently, Spy Family creator Tatsuya Endo, he's worked as an assistant on Attack on Titan by Hajime Isayama, Blue Lock, that's the next big sports series that is already the next big sports series, by Kaneshiro Muneyuki, Nomura Yusuke, and that's in Weekly Shonen Magazine at that. And then Fire Punch by Tatsuki Fujimoto, aka author of Chainsaw Man. This dude, I believe it's a dude, forgive me if it's not, Tatsuya Endo is, wow. He's worked with legends, dog. You worked with, on Fire Punch especially, like Fire Punch, it hits different, dog. That's very, very dark. Blue Lock and Attack on Titan, this is why you put out a series that, like, on volume 3 is selling 800,000 first week and stuff. You had greatness behind you, and I think they kind of recognized that. I wouldn't be surprised if that's one of the main reasons. Who knows? Here, conspiracy theory. They looked at it, they were like, wait a minute, this Tatsuya Endo guy, he's worked on Attack on Titan, Blue Lock, and Fire Punch. Let's put this guy in a... And he got this spot, this family wholesome thing. Oh my god, he has an incredible track record. Let's put a whole bunch of marketing dollars behind it. Let's buy a bunch of these books as well so these sales could look big. They do that in the music industry all the time. Don't think that the book industry is going to be any, exempt from doing shady stuff. Yes, there's a possibility that they buy 10 to 20 to 30% of the books because they're going to sell them back anyways, and it looks really good. Like, we talk about numbers each and every week over here. That looks really good to any eyes of, oh snap, it's selling well, it must be good. And oftentimes in anime and manga, the big sellers, they be alright, but shout outs to this author, that is legendary. Also, quickly about this Jump Giga issue. Holy cow, this villains part, the promotional page with all the villains, this looks so sick. You got Deku amongst all of them, but then you got All For One, Shigaraki, Kaido, Lucifero. Oh, snap, this Jump Giga thing. Yo, it got Lucifero, Shigaraki, the dude from Marshall, Kaido. That's bad. I'm naming everybody's name, then I'm saying the dude from Marshall. Kaido, Geto, and a few others that I'm not too familiar with. Is that Chainsaw Man over there? No, that's not Chainsaw. I'm not sure, but yeah, I need this Jump Giga issue now. Okay, people, it looks like the merch is starting to arrive to you guys' homes. The people that picked up the FORNEVERNEWS 2022 official merch. Shout outs to my guys, Lucky Banks and Adam, for showing support. It means the world to me, and you guys right now are on some G stuff, you know what I'm saying? Yo, appreciate it for real. But yeah, people, that's all we have for this episode of FORNEVERNEWS. Curious what you guys think. Most important story, favorite story, anything I didn't cover, and you're like, yo, FORNEV, how could you? Let me know. That's all I have for this one, though. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga for life. Bye. Have an awesome day. Peace in. And you guys just watched another episode of FORNEVERNEWS. Have an awesome day. Subscribe and hit that bell if you didn't already, okay? Have an awesome one. So just go to FORNEVERWORLD.